Carrie Lucking from the Alliance for a Better Minnesota is here, and so is Ben Golnik, a Republican strategist and member of the Minnesota Jobs Coalition. Guys, thanks for coming in on such a freezing cold night. We appreciate it. Carrie, what is so wrong, though, with Minnesota's public school system that another $600 million needs to go directly there?
Well, I think that Minnesotans really value and understand that Minnesota's schools are critical to our economic competitiveness, and that our children have to compete in a global economy. For over a decade, we have actually basically paid short shrift to our schools. So the governor's budget is the first time in that decade that we're actually investing in the future of our students.
Understood, but Carrie, what's wrong with them? How are we not competing?
Well, right now, Minnesota has some of the most overcrowded classrooms in the country. So this money would be used to hire more teachers, to reduce class sizes, give kids the individual attention they deserve.
All right, Ben, in your opinion, is that the best use of $600 million?
Well, clearly education is important. Minnesota's focused on education for a long time. I think it's unfortunate that Governor Dayton has proven to be very beholden to the special interest education union, Education Minnesota. There were a lot of great reforms that were proposed, and he unfortunately vetoed last legislative session. But some points that we haven't talked about is that what this budget did include was that sales tax.
Yep, we're gonna get there. So you don't think $600 million needs to go to education?
I don't think we. I think that I would rather see there be reforms, and I think you can make some cuts, and you can also add some money to education. So that's what I would prefer to see, and I would also prefer that Governor Dayton wasn't so beholden to Education Minnesota, that teachers union.
All right, we are going to move on to the sales tax of all of this. The governor's proposal, as we said, lowers the sales tax, but then collects taxes on goods and services that have never been taxed before. And we are told, Ben, that a middle-class family would actually come out ahead with this plan. Won't they, in fact, pay less in taxes when you add up all of their purchases over a year?
I think it's unclear. I think what we do know is that Governor Dayton, then candidate Dayton, said that he would not raise this tax at all. And in fact, Carrie's group, Alliance for Better Minnesota, largely bankrolled by Governor Dayton's ex-wife, that group actually criticized Tom Horner, who at the time was an Independence Party candidate for governor, offered a nearly identical plan to lower the tax rate a little bit, extend it to sales tax on clothing and services. Now they seem to think it's a great idea, when at the time they said Tom Horner is no friend of the middle class.
All right, so Carrie, you say that yes, indeed, a middle-class family will come out on top with this plan.
Absolutely, they will. And more important, people don't care about political ads that were run 2 years ago when Ben and I were both doing different jobs. What they do care about is their bottom line. And the fact of the matter is, a 20% reduction in sales tax means that every time I go to Target, I'm going to spend less money. Every time I go to Best Buy, I'm going to spend less money. Those are good Minnesota companies that will benefit from me being able to buy more with my dollar because of a sales tax reduction.
All right, so and Carrie, listen to this. There are a lot of people who are watching and want to know just a couple of things. Sure. How does this budget help small businesses, and how does it create jobs?
It crushes small businesses.
No,
it absolutely
actually, that's
crushes
not
accurate. Let Carrie answer.
This plan actually reduces business property taxes over time and reduces corporate taxes for those sort of corporations that earn about $1 million. They would see they'd see one of the largest corporate tax cuts they've ever seen. And so I think it's really important that Minnesotans get the facts about this budget, because it's clear that a lot of folks are going to mischaracterize what's in the budget to their advantage.
Well, to be fair, it is certainly confusing. Ben, what do you think about what we just said about small businesses and creating jobs?
I think as it relates to small businesses and all businesses, probably the most egregious part of this, the tax increases that were proposed, expanding that sales tax to business-to-business taxes, as an example, legal fees, accounting fees. That's something that's really only happening right now in about 5 states. South Dakota is the only one in our region. So we're going to see jobs leaving, money leaving our state because of those taxes on businesses. So that's really very problematic, and I think it's short-sighted. And unfortunately, I don't think the Dayton administration must have consulted any economists or any business leaders when.
Well, I tell you what, there's so much to go through with this whole thing. But as you know, we just got a hold of it today. It was just announced, and I imagine that we will be going through a lot more of it as the nights continue here on Fox 9. Ben Golnik and Carrie Lucking, again, thanks for coming out when it was so cold tonight. We appreciate it.
Thank you.